Parliament has risen for a fortnight without resolving the government's asylum seeker conundrum. When the politicians do return to Canberra, Julia Gillard's proposed changes to immigration law appear doomed. If they fail, the Prime Minister will blame the opposition leader. For its part, the coalition's confident that the blowback will all be on Labor. Here's political editor Chris Uhlmann with his take.
It is the best of times.
When you were a little boy, did you dream of actually becoming the world's best finance minister?
I used to dream of playing rugby league for Queensland or surfing at Bells Beach, actually.
And the worst of times.
There's a word for that, and it's called hypocrisy.
Yeah. This Prime Minister should not project her faults and her failings onto others. It is a serious psychological weakness.
And his email address is chunt@euromoney.com.
My position is I'm a stay on the boat person. I mean, they came here on the boats. I mean, I don't believe in drowning them or anything.
Right now, the Times tell a tale of two leaders.
He is terrified that the Malaysia arrangement will work.
She supported everything because she believes in nothing.
And whatever the future holds, in the end, only one will survive this brutal contest.
A Prime Minister who is incapable of protecting the borders of our country is a Prime Minister who has manifestly failed in the highest task she has. Frankly, it is a government and a Prime Minister who should resign.
Well, it's Mr Abbott who should be considering his position if he's not prepared to act in the national interest.
What's the future?
The leader under most pressure is the Prime Minister. Her ministers and backbenchers often bewail their bad luck, but that's been coupled with bad management. From the leadership change through an appalling election campaign to the mishandling of live cattle exports and the border protection mire, two key questions nag at the leadership of Julia Gillard.
That you have problems with competence and legitimacy.
I'm well aware, Chris, that we are a government with a lot of hard work to do.
There's no questioning Julia Gillard's work ethic, her intelligence or her toughness.
I'm getting on with the job of protecting Australia's borders and protecting the way that we deal with refugees against Mr Abbott's relentless negativity and against Mr Abbott not being interested in the nation's future.
And there is no challenge.
It is absolutely absurd that people report statements from Liberal Party sources about internal ALP matters.
Publicly and privately, the coalition is convinced a Prime Minister with a primary vote of 26% cannot stand.
The Prime Minister is not sure of her numbers. Daily, her numbers are crumbling.
Julia Gillard's caucus is willing her to survive, hoping that with time she will turn the government's fortunes. But doubts grow that she can. So muttering has begun. What if? What if Labor's still only attracting 1 in 4 voters come Christmas? Some are thinking the once unthinkable.
My name's Kevin, I'm from Queensland, I'm here to help.
And there's no doubt that Julia Gillard's grim determination to press ahead with offshore processing is alienating her own left faction.
There is, I think, a number of MPs and senators who have got significant concerns about this.
Some ministers believe a cabinet reshuffle is demanded, given the government seems incapable of translating good news into good numbers. Why hasn't the government been able to make more political capital out of its fiscal capital?
I don't think, frankly, I'd be sitting here now if it wasn't for the fact that Australians did understand and do understand what we did during the global financial crisis.
But the problem is the Prime Minister isn't in a position to offend anyone. So who can she demote?
Hi, Tony Abbott.
The government's many woes mask questions that hover over the opposition leader. Some in his ranks wonder why Tony Abbott consistently records a negative approval rating when his party is miles ahead in all public and private polling. And he blindsided and annoyed many with this.
Well, we don't support statutory individual contracts. We did once. We don't now.
Look, I'm not sort of going to, belt into Tony here and now, but I do say to him, as I'm sure others are saying within the party, this is an issue we really need to look at very closely.
But whatever concerns Tony Abbott has are as nothing compared with the Sisyphean task facing the Prime Minister. Debate on the changes to the Immigration Act has been suspended for a fortnight.
It being five
for public order
PM, the
and proper
debate
behaviour
is
in this
interrupted.
If the government's plan to reboot the Malaysian solution is defeated, it appears to have no obvious way forward. What's Plan B?
Well, we're concentrating on Plan A.
Julia Gillard will blame the opposition if Plan A fails.
The opposition is proposing to vote to deny the right of executive government to have offshore processing for a base political reason. They want to see more boats, full stop. That's it, all that's motivating them.
But chances are the loss will hurt the Prime Minister more, and the questions about leadership will grow louder.
Uhlmann there in Canberra.